Good morning all. In the previous class we were discussing on the topic living peacefully. Today we will see the qualities required for a peaceful living. So we will see the suggestive measures to lead a peaceful living. So first one is the development of disciplined orderliness. So development of disciplined orderliness, that means ചിട്ടകൾ ഉണ്ടാക്കുക. So when you are in a state of stress, you could not lead a peaceful life. So if he or she is well disciplined and has orderliness life, he or she could regain a peaceful mind. So discipline is the basis for an organized life. So by developing an orderly behavior, an individual could regain the peaceful mind. So second is the reorientation of the personal commitment. So quality of your future is determined by what you personally commit today. So in this topic we are discussing about the excess burdens. So to maintain a peaceful life, we should avoid excess burdens which will cause problems such as change in personality and behavior pattern of the individual. So excess commitment always cause displeasure in the life, which will lead to loss of patience, loss of self-respect and loss of balance of the mind. So finally that person would tend to show violence and arrogance in his behavioral activity, thus losing his peaceful and content life. So third one is the physical exercise program. So here the person should spend considerable time for physical exercise like walking, jogging, playing games to derive the mental happiness and consolation to avoid stress and strained life. The next is the mental exercise program. So mental exercise such as meditation and yoga could provide a magical cure for those suffering from several health disorders. The constant practice of meditation and yoga could tone up the mental depression and psychological imbalance, thus motivating a person to have a peaceful living. So next is the development of self-reliance and self-control. So self-reliance means it is the trust on one's own effort and ability and to act independently. സ്വന്തമായൊരു വിശ്വാസം ഉണ്ടായിരിക്കുക എന്നുള്ളതാണ് സെൽഫ് റിലയൻസ്. The self-control, that is the ability to control your emotions, reactions and impulse to achieve a desired goal. So individual usually tends to lose their patience when they face a domestic and professional conflict. The loss of patience and temperament may be caused by sudden act of irritation and provocation. So as a consequence, the concerned person will enter into a state of mental discomfort and instability that would eventually disturb his peaceful living. So we have to maintain self-reliance, self-confidence and self-control. So next we will see how to keep peace in a workplace. So the first step is don't be a stressor for other people. That means we have to be a part of solution rather than part of a problem. Second one is examine your behavior in the light of how it affects others. Third one is keep lines of communication open. So that means when there is lack of communication, people always feel neglected or ignored. So emphasis should be given to appreciate others and offer mutual support and be a good listener. Fourth one is establish trust and loyalty. So that means you have to keep your words, take responsibility of your actions rather than blaming others. Fifth one is be aware of other people's need. The need to be heard and need to be valued are very important in life. So subordinates should be rewarded fairly unless there are so fifth one is be aware of other people's need. So the need to be heard and need to be valued is very important in life. So subordinates should be rewarded fairly. So unless these are met, anyone will be feel undervalued. And the last one is be the change you want to see. So trying to change others doesn't work. So it is easy to change yourself. Then people who want to change will be attracted to you. So these are the various methods to keep peace in workplace. So next is about caring. So caring is a feeling, a sense of responsibility for others. And caring include showing respect to the feeling to the others. And now it allows us to have empathy for others and to live a life based on affection, love and compassion for the people around you. Being caring means you should listen to others and notice when they need your help. And caring means help others without any expectation. So now the steps for caring. First one is be polite. That means we have to show regard for others in manners, speech and behavior. You have to be considerate to the other people and make them feel comfortable in your presence. Next is be affectionate. Be affectionate means showing affection or warm regard. That means to show affection, you can hug a person or hold his or her hands, patting someone's back, or you can send some cards, gifts, etc. Because actions really can speak louder than words. So next is listen to the people. So whenever someone is talking to you, make eye contact. Does not interrupt and avoid distractions. So these are the ways you can listen to a people. So next is be more generous. Being generous, whether it's with your time or money, can go a long way in being a more caring person. And the next is treat others like you want to be treated. If you want to be more caring, then you have to be kind and thoughtful towards others and think of how you would feel if you were in their shoes. And the last is be considerate of others. Being considerate is another major aspect of being caring. If you want to be considerate, then you have to respect the people around you and to avoid making a nuisance of yourself. And next topic is sharing. Sharing is the begot of caring. So it is the joint use of resource or space. So sharing is always mutually beneficial. So it is the transfer of knowledge through teaching, learning, training, and exchange of information, commodities, etc. Or it is the process of dividing and distributing. So sharing morally acceptable feeling, resource, and material is usually a value. And this transfer should be genuine, legal, positive, voluntary, and without any pressure, without being driven by force or having expectation for return. And this process of sharing benefit the society by experience, expertise, wisdom, reaching more people faster. So sharing should be motivated through ethical principles. And this is a very important question. Why caring and sharing is important for a professional? So sharing is actually caring. So sharing makes us feel like we are a part of something greater than just ourselves. So sharing highlights our individual impact on a group, and sharing knowledge within a business is an effective way to unite employees towards achieving common goals. Sharing the knowledge promotes healthy communication within and between the teams, and it facilitates decision making, develop collective strength. And now, caring in workplace for employees improve the employee experience. It improves the brand reputation, retention of talent, organizational progress. It increases the productivity and innovation, and it improves the workplace morale. It gives job satisfaction. It provides a positive atmosphere, and we will get a good customer service, and we will have a loyal and dedicated staff. So these topics are very important. You can go through this topic. So thank you.